Alright, hello there. My name is Navet. We're going to be watching a demo from Toad today. He's between levels 5 and 6. I think at the time of this game he's about 1200 elo on Faceit. He's had about 900 hours. And sent in this demo, said he feels like he cannot let something like this happen again, especially with his average stats. If someone does look at this, just criticize the fuck out of me. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing our best to criticize the fuck out of you. For my personal credentials, in Premier Season 1, I peaked at almost 20k elo. On Faceit, I peaked at about level 8, but haven't been playing too much recently. And in the past couple of weeks, I've only gotten on to record these demo reviews, so maybe not so qualified, but um, I have done about 30, I think it's almost 35 demo reviews now. It's in a playlist in the description if you want to see any of the other ones. This is my first train demo review though. I hate this map, I think it's terrible. The main reason being that you don't have space to do anything anywhere. The only spaces you can contest for go directly to a bomb site. And the space that you do have, you can't throw anything that helps you. Like, you get this space for free to help you out with A, but that's about it. So all your A exec utility is going to be coming from here, more or less. On B site, your only options through utility are just down the ramp, through this hole, and out here. And it's really limiting, and I don't like that. I really like having those utility options, because it allows for a lot more freedom with what you want to do throughout the round. I don't like train. I think it's terrible. I have never been a fan of it, even back in Go. But it is what it is. It's in the pool now. So as a result of that, I don't think I'm going to be able to do too much in terms of explaining how specifically to play train. I'll put in the description as well as in the Discord when I talk with you about this. A video by Polo. Now, Polo is an IGL, has been for several years now. He's North American IGL, so, not as good as the European one, perhaps, but he's been IGLing in advanced for some time. And he puts out a lot of videos just explaining how basic maps are how maps are played at a fundamental level, as well as some other stuff from an IGL's perspective. And he just put one out on Train a couple of days ago, and that will give you a better idea of how this map is played on a macro scale. But we're mostly going to be focusing on the micro stuff today, um, especially because the micro stuff is usually what leads to these poor performances. I believe on this game, he has something like 15 ADR. This is a really short game, if you couldn't tell from the timeline. It ends 13-1. He had 15.9 ADR. Just didn't have a good time. So we'll see what we can do. So anyways, I've stalled for long enough. Like I said, it's going to be a short one today. So depending on what I need to get into. Now, Toad has been in the Discord for a while. I've been watching him play, and he's been posting a lot about his improvement over time. And he has improved a good bit, so I do want to bring attention to that. He's at about 900 hours, and that's within the last like 6 months or some shit like that. Like he's pretty new to the game. So it's pistol round. I wish you guys have flashes here. Um, like I mentioned, there's not a lot of utility you can throw, but of the utility you can throw, it's all going to go over here. So you can just send a flash out. That'll help a little bit. Now, the flashes, you have to be careful not to throw them too early, because if you throw it as soon as you get here, then your team's not even out, and the CTs aren't even there. So it's better if you do throw these flashes to just kind of wait. Have your team wait in main for a little bit, just to allow the CTs to get into some sort of position that you can then flash them out of, and then send a flash out. This is pretty panicked. You're shooting before aiming instead of aiming before shooting, and you're also you're using your movement to do a lot of aiming for you here, where instead of moving your mouse at all, you're moving your character. So notice how after this first shot, you don't really move your mouse. It's almost all in your character movement, and you just can't do that when there's this big ass train in the way. It's okay to use your movement to do some of the aiming for you. That's what counter strafing is for. It can help with some adjustments where. For example, with the donk slide, the so-called donk slide, you can aim in such a way that your movement assists your aim, but you shouldn't be using movement instead of your aim here. So, and by the time you do correct your aim, it's too late. I think this looks pretty rough from this guy's point of view. Kind of. Not really. It didn't look like how I thought it was gonna look, so we'll just move on. Alright, so, oh god, a fucking PP Bison from your team. Yeah, this buy is good. You guys got bomb plant. By the way, I forgot to mention, but Toadium here is queued with purple. Yugi, I think is how his face name is pronounced. I think I've done a demo review or two for him in the past, under the name of Mantide, but it feels like you're not really aiming at anything. Like, I know you're aiming at the end of this hallway, but it feels like you're just thinking about something completely different here. And yeah, now that guy's pushed through pop. Has he made a noise? It's really hard to make the noise with the rush, so I don't blame you guys too much for it, but someone does need to be holding this. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird because the timing doesn't make too much sense, and it's really hard to like. The only way this guy's gonna get good timing is if he makes a lot of noise, and the only world where he can make a lot of noise and get away with it is when you guys are like full rushing like this, and then maybe someone can hear the stone. I believe it's stone that's down here. Yeah, can hear the stone. But like that's the only world where that sort of aggressive play can work out. Otherwise, you would have to wait a few more seconds for it, just with how the timings work out. So I don't really blame you too much for that death there. Like, yeah, sure, someone could have been looking there, but I think that is the only situation where a CT could aggress like that. So I guess at least try to be a little bit mindful about that. Do you go buy? You're on third loss, so you can buy lower than this. You don't need $6,000. You can buy down to I think it's 1,500 and still be good. With 2,900, so like at least get armor. Yeah, cool. All right, that's good at least. Honestly, I think just going with the Tech 9 is going to be better for you than a Deagle. It really feels like you don't know where to be looking. Like you're looking at places, but it doesn't feel very intentional in the way that you're holding them. You can't shift walk down these stairs. Jaeger's visible for so long, if we go from his point of view. Visible starting there. He's got all, oh my god, he's got follow recoil. But yeah, he's got all the time in the world to react there, so you can't just walk down. If you do have to go down, you either run down or you jump from up here, and that way you land down here. And that's gonna be your fastest way. Or obviously you just send a smoke out that lands somewhere along here. And that'll give you enough cover to be able to do that. What the fuck? Why are you dropping for him? Oh, you fucked up your buy there. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing there, honestly. Because now you got no util. You don't have a reason to be buying to 2K here. Like, this is your full buy round. Like, you need to be full buying here. If you're buying with the next round in mind, like, when you full buy like this, you can't be buying with the expectation you're gonna lose. Like, it's just not good. You're shooting yourself in the foot. It's making it's making it harder for you to win your gunfight, which means it's more likely that your team's going to lose this round because you don't have the resources that you should have with the money. So while you are saving your money, no one else on your team has. So if you guys lose this round, which I'm assuming you guys do with the score line, sure, you have a full buy. Sure, Yellow has a full buy, but everyone else is fucking broke. And that's just like you don't want to put your team in that spot, you know. It's better to have a full buy here, buy with your team, get an AK, get some utility, and fucking do what you can to win the round. Whether that utility converts to another kill, whether it converts to a round win, or whether it doesn't do that. At least on the next round, all you guys have the same buy, and so you don't have to worry about trying to figure that out. Because at the bare minimum, you gotta buy flashes. Like, flashes are so unbelievably helpful. You can use them anywhere you want to. Now your whole team knows you're here. Or now the whole team knows that you're here. I wouldn't even worry too much about picking up the gun there. Just because you are in the front, so it's your responsibility to help clear space. Yeah, it's a tight angle. You can't really see him there, can you? Yeah, you can barely see his leg, and I think most of that is X-ray. Yeah, can't really see him. And even by the time you could see him, it's just rough. Yeah. I don't know, you guys made so much noise going through Ivy there, and with that, like, they're able to just full focus on this half of the map here. And not even half, I guess that, like, eighth of the map there. It's just not good if they all know that you're here. It's better to have at most like 3 people here and apply pressure somewhere else. Whether if you do send everyone through here, you know, you can split up and apply a little bit of pressure across the map to kind of prevent these 2 players from just full focusing on the single right here. You know, they'll have to put some resources to worrying about the camera gap. So yeah, like I said, now you have a full buy. Now yellow has a full buy. Green kind of can, but like the utility's terrible here. Again, you got a full buy. I know a lot of people just don't think about flashes and don't really throw them, but it's good to make a habit out of it and just throw it kind of whenever you get a chance. And just look at your own games later and just see if the flashes you threw were effective or not. I don't really know why you're you heard the name. I think you just sit up and post up on this angle while blue smoked off. I'm assuming he called this instead of drifting forward in the way that you are now, because then you're just caught in transition. That sets you up really poorly and means that you lose silly fights like that. Because like you're not really expecting it if you're in transition. Now the buy is fucking terrible again. Just full buy here, please. Yeah. No, don't downgrade to a Galil. If you're downgrading to a Galil from an AK just to buy utility, like I don't know why you're doing that. Just buy down. Like, well, I think I know why you're doing that. The reason I think you're doing that is you're buying for the next round. Because if you have $1,000 left, you'll have 4,400 on the next round, which is full armor, AK, and some utility. But just get an AK here, you know. You're worrying too much about it. I think you're giving yourself a shitty gun. Oh, and you sold something else. You sold your utility. No, what are you doing? Yeah, you need that. Like, especially since you end up in the back, I think a flash over the top here would have been like perfect for you guys. You have to be careful about throwing it um, like this, because if it lands up here, then that is where your team can see it. That's why they raised this doorway here, so that those flashes are less effective. At least I think that's why they did it. But I don't know why you're getting rid of all that utility here. Like, if you make it out of main here, there's definitely opportunities for you to use that utility. Like, you can just throw a smoke or a Molotov in Z here, and like be fine, you know? Like, yeah, like sure your teammate gets it, but you're pushing before the smoke's there. Um, Now I'm assuming the teammate didn't call it or didn't say anything about that. But if you're taking sight, like definitely you need the camera, you need Zed to be smoked off. Otherwise you're fucked. If you got a molly, you can Molotov ladder here. You can use Molotov the back of sight in general. You can Molly deeper in Z to cut off a rotate and prevent visibility. Because while a Molotov here is okay, like they can still see ye over it, so it doesn't do too much other than just stop someone from swinging out. Um, but yeah, you're just like, I don't know. It's 20 seconds in the round, and you're really impatient with it. Even, I mean, I know you didn't recognize it, but you can see this guy's arm right there for a brief frame. Um, and then you go for the AK, and like you wouldn't be going for the AK like if you just had an AK off the start. You would have not been again caught in transition in the way that you are. You can give your attention to actually holding an angle instead of like idling forward like that. You got a full buy again, but no flashes. Yo's got a PB Bison for some reason. You're shooting before you're aiming again. Like, what's happening is you are shooting when you expect your crosshair is on him instead of shooting when you know your crosshair is on him. And I think if I feel like I'm going to be seeing more of that in this game. So what I recommend doing is just going to deathmatch and just making a mental note of yes, my crosshair is on him. What happens when you play deathmatch a lot and when you kind of churn like hour-long sessions is you get very lazy and you start to think that you get a feel for like your mouse. And muscle memory isn't really a thing when it comes to aiming. The aim training community has a whole argument about that, but you need aiming and shooting to be a bit more of I want to say like a mental thing rather than a mechanical thing where you mentally know that you are on him rather than mechanically feeling like you're on him because your mechanics are going to change day by day. Maybe today it's just like it's a couple degrees hotter outside. Well, I guess you're in the UK, so maybe today it's a degree hotter outside, and so the friction is going to feel a little bit different on your mouse pad. And so on one day a 6-inch flick might be one distance. On another day, a 6-inch flick might not be as far. Even in the span of a single day, like the humidity in your room, that sort of thing, it does affect it. Whether it's the friction, like if you're a little sweaty, for example, and so your arm against the mouse pad is going to feel different, or maybe the way you're gripping your mouse is just a couple millimeters off from whatever it was, and so that's why you need it to be a mental thing where you know in your head that you're on him rather than you feel like you're on him based off of how far you've flicked. It's a very subtle thing, and I don't want to be communicating the idea that you need to dedicate mental energy to aiming, at least in like mid game, because you should be use your mental energy to think about other things. But I'm trying to draw a distinction between mechanically knowing or like mechanically feeling like you're on him rather than mentally knowing that you're on him. And by doing deathmatch and consciously thinking, I am on him, therefore I will shoot, rather than I feel like I'm on him or shooting before you're on target. You get really sloppy with that over very long deathmatch sessions, and so you need to keep being mindful about it. And that way, if you're not on him, you have an opportunity to correct him, because something will feel off in your head. In addition to you missing, it will feel slightly differently in your head. And I know I'm speaking like some fucking voodoo snake oil like uh, merchant or whatever the fuck the salesman. Um, but it is a thing. So I promise I'm not schizo. but it is a thing. I believe you have done a little bit of aim training work, because I think I was talking with you about it. But I don't think that you've done too much of it since then. I haven't gone through your profile or anything to look though. But... Hey, just keep your gun out the whole way. It doesn't really matter here, but yeah. Yeah, so there looks like you're just not confident, and you are not on the same page with your team here. You are like full focused on this angle, and you're expecting this guy to swing, but this guy's heard so many footsteps. He is not likely to swing into this because he knows that he's gonna have at least 2 pairs of eyes trained on him. And it seems like that what you are waiting for is you're waiting for him to swing, but what your team wants to do is your team is hungry for this fight. If you look at who is it, number 6 here, he's looking for the fight. You can hear number 0 is running past you for this fight. And you can hear this around you, and so while yes, you don't want to be pulling your attention away from a crosshair, you can hear that your team wants to do something, and so you should try to get on the same page with them. There's not too many options that you have here because you don't have utility. Please get utility some more. It's very important. But yeah, you're not quite on the same page with the team with how you want to take that fight, and you can communicate that by saying, yeah, let's swing, or let's, just pause, like hold up, wait for the peak, something along those lines, just to try to do whatever you can to get on the same page, or you don't say anything and you just react based off of their like body language in game. That was a good peek by that guy. I'll give him that. Let's see what that is from his point of view. So I don't think he was on you initially. I think just peeked and yeah, just really good swinging counter straight. Not much you can do about that specific player pushing up. All right. You guys are really heavy towards upper B, and I'm not a fan of that. Oh, this guy just runs through. There's not even a smoke here. Yeah, you guys need to smoke this. Like, look at that, like you're fucking dead. Where's their armor as well? What the fuck? Yeah, I guess he picked this up from... It got dropped to you. What happened to all your money? Oh, you dropping op. No, don't do that. You guys need rounds, don't be opping. Yeah, I don't like that. I know you're not doing good, but that's just making you feel even less confident about shit. Like, you're actively shooting yourself in your foot and actively making yourself perform worse and give yourself the worst possible outcome by giving yourself no armor, by running out of B ramp like this. Like, someone's gotta be smoking this. I know that, like, this isn't your team, but someone's gotta be smoking so you guys can get out and at least focus on, like, these angles specifically, instead of worrying about Zed. There's no reason that you should be following this teammate through the smoke here. Like, if you see a teammate making a bad play like that, you just don't follow. Especially if you can't do anything with that smoke there. Like, you can't set up for a trade in any effective manner. You got a Mac 10 again? I really don't like that you keep having $1,000 left over. Close the space, got a Mac 10. Oh, don't go up there. You're making these angles even longer for yourself. Now you got bomb. Get a smoke. It's not a great smoke, but it's whatever. Happy you're at least using the smoke, to be honest. No, that's smoked. You know this guy's... Yeah. I don't know, this smoke's really backfired for you. I think, yeah, the only place you should be holding is where that guy could push from with a smoke like this. Because you have a teammate in Zed. And obviously you don't want to be pushing up for a fight. Maybe you do want to push for a fight because you have a Mac 10, but if you are holding this smoke, I think it's best to hold up here or to hold something more like this, where you can hold across that someone can make. But I'm assuming this is, oh, it's not the round you guys won. Okay. Yeah, now it's just sloppy CS for the rest of it, I imagine. Yeah, here, I'll point this out as well. You saved $1,000 so you could get, like, you can guarantee a full buy this round, but because you guys got the bomb plant, you still have $1,000 left over. Like, you can just full buy, you know? Yeah. I don't think it's gonna make too much of a difference, at least in this game. Like, you having all that utility, I don't think it would matter a bunch here, but on closer games where you're going to overtime or you're close to overtime, that utility does make a difference. It's a small difference, but it's still a difference. And so you just take whatever advantage you can get. Yeah, I think here as well you're shooting before aiming. Yeah, you're not even on him and you're beginning to shoot. Now you see him here, you feel like you're on him, but you're not quite. And then it's just over. It's last round. Buy some more. It's last round. It's, you have $700 left over. You know, buy a pistol or flashes for your teammate if you're not going to use them. Yeah, now I see you're just playing scared because you don't feel good this game. Oh, they have 3 ops. Oh, they just all have ops here. Yeah. You got smoke and flash. Like, you're buying this utility, but you're not using it. Like, so then what are you buying it for? You know, I prefer if you have a full set of utility, but if you're not throwing it and you're just buying it for no reason, like you don't know what you're doing with it, then what's the point? You're just pissing away like $700 around. Now you're using a molly, and that's a smoke. I'll tell you what. You don't gotta re-smoke it. It's already smoked. It's not a good smoke that they threw, but there's no reason for you to throw that type of smoke there. You just wait for post plant. Like you know that they have ops, and ops are really bad when it comes to smokes because they can't spam through it. If they do spam through it, it's through it's with pistols, which obviously are weaker. So I think you should hold this angle a little wider as well, like closer to here, just a little bit wider. Yep. If you had it wider, you'd react a bit better for it. Because when you're moving here, you're aiming exclusively at the corner, or mostly at the corner. Yeah. And this guy's able to take that peek like that because you are like playing scared. And I'm assuming the performance is contributing to that, but I think you're really letting it get to you here. Like, I think, honestly, a good thing for you might be to just unbind tab. Just to discourage you from pressing it as much. If you unbind tab, you can still, I'll let you know, you can still view the scoreboard if you press escape and you pause the game. But if you pause the game, you can't move. And so it really disincentivizes you from doing that outside of like freeze time. Because then anytime you're pressing escape, that's time that's actively taking away from you doing anything. You know, you can't move your character, WSD doesn't work. You can't turn your character because, you know, your mouse is pulled away from the game. So I think it'd be a good thing for you to try to do. The main downside of it, perhaps, is that if you need to view like a zoomed out version of the map, then you can't use tab to help with that. You'd have to use escape, and so that's a bit there's a bit of like tension there. Um, but if you have your minimap zoomed out enough, or it has all the information on it that you need, then it doesn't matter that much. So now we switch to CT side. Oops. You relegate yourself to B. You don't need 2B, by the way. This map is basically you have one B player, you have a Z, camera, Ivy, and sorry, it's one here, one here, one here, one here, and then the last player just kind of floats wherever it's important. So you could be back here, and that way you can strengthen either Ivy or you can strengthen the site, whatever it ends up being. But generally, it's going to be 3 towards A. But as I mentioned, I'll put the Polo video in the description. I'll be honest, I haven't watched it, but I have watched his other videos, and so I know they're very good, and so I do trust in what he has to say. So, buy down. You guys won. Buy flashes. Buy kit even. I beg you. That molly's so early. Like, you see where they are? It does nothing, you know? That molly is gone by the time they're down ramp. Like, that molly didn't do anything for you, you know? It's just so early in the round. And now you should be calling it they're all the way out. And now you threw that smoke, and the problem with this smoke is they know where you are. Like, they're already out on site. That smoke isn't going to do anything for you. If there is anyone behind the smoke, they know that the team is on site, so they're just going to push through it. And since you threw that smoke, like I said, they know where you are, and so the people who are on site are able to clear you and make sure that that smoke is basically a non-issue in this round. If you do start with a smoke, I think you smoke the ramp first, like not necessarily immediately, but you know, earlier into the round. Then that way they have to do something about it, whether they flash out of it, whether they take more time. That way that smoke it actually functions as a deterrent instead of as this thing that's basically like you've essentially spent $300 here to kill yourself. Like, you spent $300 on a smoke to give up everything that they need to know, as well as essentially give up the bomb site. Because you see, you're not interested in taking a fight here, because you tuck yourself up in this corner, and I don't like that you're buying an MP9. If you want to play this angle, you need a long range gun. Like, get a FAMAS, don't get an M4. It's honestly a waste on round 2. But just get a FAMAS, that way you can hold a longer range. You can hold an angle that's more like this, and that way you can actually do something. You know that they don't really have a buy here. They did plant, I think. No, they didn't plant, so if they do, well, they shouldn't buy here. They do, but they shouldn't have. And so it would have been only pistols, and so you just hold pistols at range with the rifle, and you just basically farm. That's the game over. So, yeah, I think I said everything I want to say. The TLDR is you gotta manage your money more, or use your money more. You have a habit of shooting before you're aiming, and then you're taking poor fights because you recognize that you're not performing well, and that's making you play in a play style that then lends to you continuing to play worse. Where you're not taking fights that you should be, where you're not playing the way you should be, you're letting your teammates take contact, and because you're letting your teammates take contact, then you're not set up in a good position to help if something goes wrong, and it kind of cascades like that. I hope you found this useful. I know Umurangi also, I think he wrote up a text document. I didn't read that either, just because I didn't want to be like influenced, if you will. But I know that he wrote up a document for you to read as well, and I believe you've gone through that. So hopefully that was helpful as well. So hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good night. Take care. Bye bye.